Hi guys, my name is Max Striker and I'm gonna be your inside branding coach. Okay, so first of all, thank you for deciding to join this course. And basically, what we're going to speak about here is about how to create and build your brand from scratch. Okay, so here on this course, we're going to talk about all the concepts and fundamentals that are involved with branding. Okay, I think branding is a word that uh, many people have heard, but they do not know the implications that are behind branding. Okay, everything that is involved with branding, it's about creating a brand experience, and there are many methods that one can use towards creating a brand experience. Here on this course, we're going to cover all the techniques and fundamentals and a lot of the theory part that it's behind branding. And eventually, you will be able to build your own brand based on all of the concepts that you'll be learning here. Okay. So again, thanks for deciding to take action and join this course. And let's start with the basics, okay? So first of all, what is a brand? Have you ever thought about what a brand really is? A brand is not just a name, okay? A brand is the knowledge, perceptions, and of course, feelings associated with something that has been given an identity, okay? Okay, so a brand is the knowledge, perceptions, and feelings associated with something that has given an identity. Okay, think about this. A brand is really an association. A brand is an association of concepts, of perceptions, of feelings. Okay, the main objective of a brand is to generate an emotional response, and this can be achieved through uh, many different ways. Okay, so first of all, you need to take away all the judgment and everything you think you know about a brand and just start from fresh. Okay, so the brand and a brand is the knowledge, perceptions, and feelings associated with something that has been given an identity. What do I mean by an identity? An identity can be a lot of things. An identity can be a name. It can be, for example, a look or a feel. Okay, so when you think about a brand, you do not just think about the name of a brand of a corporation. Okay, you think about everything that's associated with that brand. How is the brand experience? How am I relating to that brand? Okay, so basically, a brand is a way to relate. Okay, and from this relation, many things can flourish. Okay, so a brand, given all this and having said all this, a brand can be, for example, a brand can be a product. A brand can be, for example, a service. A brand can be a company. A brand can be, for example, a group of people. It can be an activity that many people get together and perform together. It can be a character. And of course, and this is what this course is mainly about, a brand can also be a person. Okay, there's something called personal branding that is the opposite of corporate branding. And given the world that we are living in, and given the fact that everything is of an online, of a digital nature, and everything can be done online, a person can be a brand. Okay, and this is something that you need to stick in your mind, because a person can be a brand, and most of the time there are brands that consists of a person. Okay, so in summary, a brand is the knowledge, perception, and feelings that are associated with an identity. Okay, it's everything that has been associated with something that has been given an identity. And by identity, I mean perhaps the name, the look, and feel. And this identity can be, or this brand can be, a product, a service, a company, a group, an activity, and also a brand can be a person. Okay, someone just like you can create a brand and start creating a brand experience from there. Okay, so moving on, this is a really good question. Why would you want to build a brand? Okay, why take the time to build a brand? Okay, this is something that you should be asking, and it's a question that we will be answering right away. So, why build a brand? The first thing that I identified, and the first reason one should be considering building a brand, is that a brand automatically differentiates you from others. Okay, a brand is mainly a differentiation tool. Okay, it's a tool that differentiates from others. Others, it can be other products, other services, mainly about competitors. And where there is differentiation, if you start differentiating yourself from others, you immediately start creating a brand identity. Why? Because by being different, you start the process of becoming something unique. And if you are different from others, mainly your competitors, for example, you start telling the world that you are a unique person, and that you have unique values, a unique vision, a unique mission. And this uniqueness will start creating your brand identity, because people will be able to relate with this, with your view of the world, the thing that your brand is actually wanting to do. How are you wanting to change the world? Okay, so why build a brand? First of all, the first factor that I identified is that a brand gives differentiation. Okay. Also, number two, why build a brand? Okay, create preference. Let me change the color. What do I mean by preference? Whenever there are in the market and in the world in general, people always have options. Okay, people have options, and given these options, we of course have to make choices. Okay, and when people make choices, they later on have to face the product of that choices. They have to deal with the choices that they made. So creating a brand allows your audience to choose you from others. Okay, and for example, imagine your brand launches a couple of products into the market or something like that. Whenever that happens, people will always have the choice to choose you. People can choose you. Okay, and where this happens, where there is the possibility of choice, uh, people can choose your brand over others' brand. Okay, here we're getting a little bit deeper into what the competitor field is. So people have options, and one of these options will be your brand. And eventually, if you're able to give people the value and the thing that they are looking for, they will stick to your brand. And here, something will flourish that is called, and probably you heard this, loyalty. If you have a brand, you can start building a loyal database of customers, okay, and people that are brand enthusiasts. Okay, and this is directly related to preference. Whenever there is a choice, and whenever people have the choice, if you are able to build a good relationship with your target audience based on the factors that we will speak about later of trust, if you deliver a good quality product, you deliver value from what you're giving to your target audience, they will eventually start choosing you over your competitors. They will choose you, they will have preference over you, they will choose you and prefer you over your competitors, and that will eventually start creating loyalty with that target audience. Okay, so having said that, we will move on to the next factor, and that is the trust factor. A brand will eventually allow you to accumulate trust and build relationships. Again, this trust is related to loyalty, and you start getting your target audience trust by giving out value. Okay, if you give value, you will eventually start gaining your target audience trust, and you will have a loyal database of customers that will prefer you over your competitors because you are different. Okay, see how the story is evolving. If you give out value, okay, your target audience will start to trust you, and you will start developing a loyal database of customers that will prefer you over your competitors, so that you, of course, are perceived as different, as unique, and you start building your brand identity. Okay, so that's another reason why you should be building a brand. And of course, you can start claiming the ownership of your ideas, of different products or services. Okay, and eventually you will be able to build economic value, and you will be able to start generating, of course, revenue out of your brand building. Okay, so moving on. What makes a successful brand? This is a really interesting question. What makes a successful brand? What are the factors that are involved into making a successful brand? Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Well, this is something that will, of course, be at the center of our brand building. Okay, generating an emotional link or an emotional response from your target audience or the people that your brand is addressed to will be our core central value. Okay, and this core central value will be exactly at the center of our brand building. And I'm gonna talk about how to generate an emotional link. An emotional link. Okay, brand building is about generating emotional links, and there are many ways that one can generate an emotional link. The first way that we're going to talk about is having a coherent brand identity. We're not going to dig in too deep into what brand identity is just yet, but let me tell you that the brand identity is the concept that's behind your brand building. Okay? And this concept should be coherent throughout all of your communication. Everything that you do, everything that you every practice that you have that involves your brand should be coherent within one another. And having a coherent brand identity will be able to generate trust, because people will be comfortable with the fact that you're running your own brand and that the brand is coherent within all the practices that the brand's involved in. Okay, so this is something that you should really. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to develop a coherent brand identity, and we will do that by stating and defining the concept behind our brand, and having this coherence within all the practices and everything that we do within that brand will be, it will start giving us the element of trust, and we will start getting trust into the equation. Okay, so another thing that you should keep in mind to generate an emotional link is that we need to develop a strong brand message. Okay, this strong brand message should be something that we should always keep in mind. The stronger your brand message, the harder the impact will be, and the more people will remember your brand. This is something that you should always keep in mind. Brands have a message. A message is, what do you want to say? What is it that you want to say? What is it that you want to convey that your audience will be able to relate to. Okay, this is all about relating. Okay, relationships. It's about relating your brand, yourself, or keep in mind company or your product with a portion of the market that you choose, and that's your intended audience. Okay, so if you're able to relate with your audience and you're able to convey a strong brand message, you should have no problem in generating an emotional link with them. Okay, so moving on, how to generate a emotional link. The other factor that I came up with is that we need to represent a target audience. Okay, we need to represent a target audience. Basically, I'm going to talk about here, I'm also covering this later on, but we need to know the importance of the target audience. Okay, target audience is who we're speaking to. Okay, that's basically our target audience. It's who we're speaking to. And if our brand is able to represent a portion of this target audience, and we take the time to know who this target audience is and what are their needs. Okay, we need to identify our target audience's needs. Okay, and if we're able to identify their needs, we'll be able to get into their shoes and know what they want, what they don't want, what are they searching for, what are their goals, what do they want to achieve. And if we do that and we understand them, we will be able, of course, to represent them. And if we get them, if we understand what they want, we can give them what they need, and we will be sort of a leader to them. Okay, we will be someone that has something that they are looking for, and we always keep their best interest in mind. And if we keep their best interest in mind, we will start gaining their trust, of course, and they will feel secure because there will be someone representing them. Okay, so if you represent this target audience, you will be able to generate an emotional link. And something that is more related to this is that if we know our target audience, we will be able to eventually spot and seize opportunities. Okay, and we will sense when there is an opportunity to be taken, because where there is a need, there is an opportunity. Okay, opportunities are based based on needs. Okay, and if we are able to spot and seize opportunities, and we're able to come up with a way to fulfill this need that our target audience has, we will be able to eventually generate an emotional link with our target audience, of course. So generating an emotional link is all about developing a coherent brand identity, okay? Having a strong brand message behind, that it's what we want to say, what we want to campaign, and we need to represent the target audience. We need to know who we're speaking to. We need to understand them, to be in their shoes in order for we to be able to identify their needs, okay, be a leader to them, and spot and seize opportunities based on our target audience need, okay? And if we're able, of course, to identify all of this, okay, we will have a good brand strategy. We will be able to develop a flawless brand strategy because we know who our target audience is. We know what a brand really entails. We know how to build a coherent brand identity and having a strong brand message behind, supporting everything that we do and say. Okay? So, this is maybe too much for the introduction. We will cover all of these concepts later on. And thank you very much for watching this first video, okay? Thank you for watching. And on the next video, we will cover the subject of personal versus corporate branding. This is Max Striker, and this is Inside Branding.